Hello Book Warriors, this is Joe Reese Books and my name is Joe and this is my March book haul. Woo! So in this book haul I have 12 physical books. I also have a few books on the Kindle which I will do as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first book I hauled this month was Gone by Michael Grant. I read half of this book previously because I borrowed it off a friend, but I had to get the book back and I didn't get a chance to finish it, but so I went off and actually bought myself a copy and I am going to read this again very soon. As I said, I've already read half of Gone and I really enjoyed it, so of course I went off and I got Hunger, again by Michael Grant, and the second book in the Gone series. And with that, I went off and bought the third book in the Gone series, Lies, because I do like to have multiple copies of the same series, because that way then I can just read them one after the other. The next book, and sticking with my series buy, I picked up Fire and Flood by Victoria Scott. This has a good promise and I just like the idea of the story, so I said I might pick it up. And with that, I also picked up Salt and Stone, again also by Victoria Scott, and the second book in the Fire and Flood series. The next book I bought in my book haul was Shatter Me by Tareef Mafi. I'm not sure if I pronounced the first name right, but I have already read some of this book on the Kindle and I was enjoying it, so I bought a physical copy of this book and I heard great things about the trilogy. So with that, I also bought Unravel Me. With that, I also picked up Ignite Me, and I'm looking forward to just reading this series soon as well. Another book I picked up recently was Half Wild by Sally Green. I already have Half Bad, which is on my bookshelf behind me, which I hauled last month, and I came across this the other day and I picked it up and I said I had to have it since I had the first one, so why not have the first two, and that way then I can do a marathon read and read both one after the other. Another book I picked up recently as well was The Sin Eater's Daughter by Melinda Salisbury. I've heard great things about this book and I just really like the premise of this book as well, because what's awesome about touching someone and they automatically dying, it's just something cool about it, and it was cheap, so why not? Another book I picked up recently, as in yesterday, is The Knife and Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. I've been looking for this book for a year and a half. I bought this on the Kindle and I had not read it because I really wanted a physical copy of this book, and I'm so looking forward to getting this read because I just love the promise of the story, and it's just, yes, I can't wait to get reading it. Another book I picked up this month was Talion by Julie Tagwa, and I just read of dragons. Dragons is probably one of my favourite type of mystical creatures, and I look really forward into reading this because I really like the idea of dragons being turned humans and live among us, and it made me question a lot about people around me. So I'm looking really forward to reading this. One of the last books I bought this month was I Hate Myself by Shane Dawson. I'm a fan of Shane Dawson's videos and I've already read a chapter of this book already, and I've seen him play out one of the chapters of this on his own channel and just thought it was hilarious, and just reading this, just looking at this book and flicking through it, I just think it's going to be a good read. It's also one of the top sellers here at the moment and I can't wait to read the rest of this book. The last physical book in my book haul was a bit of a surprise I found in one of my packages where I had a lot of books, and this was A Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which is the Harry Potter novella by J.K. Rowling, and the new film is going to be released very soon. Now, I already own a copy of this book, which is here, and it's such a big difference in the covers. I actually love this cover. I got this originally when they first come out, and this was just a really good surprise to see in my package, and I can't believe that the Book Depository threw this in for no apparent reason at all, and yeah, it's pretty much made my day. So on my Kindle I bought a few books. Some of these books were free and some of them were very cheap. So the first books I got on my Kindle this month was The Gods and Dragons, an 8th book fantasy adventure. This is written by 6 different authors, and the first book in it is Moth. I can't remember exactly what the synopsis of each book is because I read it and I went, ooh, I like that, and I like fantasy, so, and it was cheap, so I bought it. The next book on my Kindle was a book that was available for free for a few days when I picked it up, and this is Wicca, The Chronicles of Elizabeth Blake, and this is by Christy Duvax. And there's also a promise to actually be able to do a review on this, which I hope to do one soon once I actually get reading it. And it looks really, really good, it sounds interesting, and I can't wait to actually read this one too. The next book I got on my Kindle was a book I got for free as well, and this is The Children of the After Waking by Jamie Lansgo. I believe that's how to pronounce his name. This sounded very, very interesting, and again, it's dystopian, and I really like dystopian novels, and I just can't wait to read this one too. The next book on my Kindle was one I read on Goodreads, and I really, really liked the synopsis to this book, and it just sounded so, so interesting. It had very much like Hunger Games and The Maze Runner kind of all blended in, and that is Nowhere by John Robinson. And this is basically a story about a group of teenagers being placed into an area with no memory, no clues. All they've been told is that they're criminals, but they have no idea why they're criminals or what they've done to be got there. And it just seems very, very interesting, and another book I'm going to be reading very, very soon. Another book I got on the Kindle for free is The Story of Awkward by R.J. Giles. I'm currently reading this book at the moment and loving it because it's so relatable in certain aspects. And it's so great, and the fact that it's free, you can't say no to a free book, and it's just an amazing story so far. I'm about halfway through it at the moment, so hopefully I'll have this finished by the end of the month. The last book I bought this month, and probably my favourite series so far of this year, is book number 2 in the Gifted series, and that's Uprising, and this is by Elizabeth C. Bauer. And Elizabeth is pretty awesome, and this book is like $3.99 on the Kindle, and it's just... the first book was just amazing, and I'm hoping this book will be amazing too. I've only read about 3 pages into this book so far, even though Elizabeth really wants me to read it, but I'm reading other books at the moment, so I have to get those finished first. Okay, so that is my book haul for March, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you read any of these books that I've hauled, please comment below and let me know what you thought of them, if you liked them, if you didn't like them, and if you think I should just drop everything for a particular book, say so down below. Okay, so I will see you guys very, very soon for my March wrap up and my TBR for April, and I'll see you guys in the next chapter.